Stoicism and forgiveness. The path to emotional freedom. Forgiveness is a word that often evokes deep emotional responses. It's a concept deeply rooted in human experience, yet its practice can be one of the most challenging aspects of our lives. Whether it's forgiving someone for a past wrong or forgiving ourselves for the mistakes we've made, the act of forgiving has the power to shape our inner peace, transform our relationships, and lead us toward true emotional freedom. But what if the path to forgiveness wasn't merely about letting go of anger or resentment? What if instead it was about embracing a new mindset, one rooted in wisdom, emotional resilience, and self-control? This is where Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophy, offers profound insights. In this article, we will explore how Stoic principles can guide us on the journey of forgiveness, helping us cultivate a more peaceful, compassionate, and resilient mind. What is Stoicism? Before diving into the relationship between Stoicism and forgiveness, it's important to understand the core of Stoic philosophy. Stoicism was founded in Athens by Zeno of Citium in the early 3rd century BCE. It teaches that virtue, meaning moral excellence, is the highest good, and that our happiness and peace of mind are dependent on how we respond to life's challenges, not on the circumstances themselves. The Stoics believed that we cannot control what happens to us in life, but we can control how we respond to those events. They emphasized accepting what we cannot change, focusing on what is within our control, and cultivating virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. This mindset fosters a sense of tranquility and inner peace, even in the face of adversity. The nature of forgiveness. A Stoic perspective. Forgiveness in Stoic philosophy is not just an emotional release. It's a rational decision, rooted in understanding. When we forgive someone who has wronged us, we are not excusing their behavior, nor are we minimizing the harm they caused. Instead, we are choosing to release the emotional burden of resentment and anger, freeing ourselves from the emotional turmoil that results from holding on to these negative feelings. The Stoics teach us that our emotions are not caused by external events, but by our interpretations of those events. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, wrote in his meditation, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This means that when we hold on to anger, resentment, or hatred, it is not the other person's actions that are causing our suffering, but our own reactions to those actions. In the Stoic view, forgiveness is an act of wisdom. It is recognizing that holding on to negative emotions harms us more than the person who wronged us. By forgiving, we take control of our emotions and choose peace over turmoil. We choose to focus on our own growth and well-being, rather than allowing others' actions to dictate how we feel. The role of rationality in forgiveness. For the Stoics, reason was the guiding principle in all aspects of life. They believed that emotion, especially negative ones, often arise from irrational thinking or misunderstanding. When we forgive someone, we are engaging in a rational act that aligns with our higher self, our true nature. It's about seeing the situation clearly and understanding that we have the power to choose our response. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This encapsulates the Stoic approach to forgiveness perfectly. Instead of reacting emotionally and holding on to grudges, we can use reason to assess the situation objectively and decide to let go of the negative feelings that are holding us back. When we forgive, we are not weak. We are demonstrating strength. It takes more courage to forgive than to hold on to anger. By forgiving, we rise above the situation, showing emotional resilience and self-mastery. The dichotomy of control and forgiveness. One of the central tenets of Stoic philosophy is the dichotomy of control. The idea that some things are within our control and others are not. According to the Stoics, the only things we have control over are our thoughts, actions, and responses. Everything else, the actions of others, the events of the world, and even our own past mistakes, are beyond our control. When we apply this idea to forgiveness, it becomes clear that we cannot control what others have done to us. We cannot change the past or undo the hurt we've experienced. However, we can control how we respond to the situation. Forgiveness is a conscious choice we make to relinquish our hold on the past and focus on the present. By recognizing that we cannot change the actions of others, we stop wasting energy on trying to fix what's beyond our control. We accept that the hurt has happened, and rather than dwelling on it or seeking revenge, we choose to release the pain and move forward with our lives. Forgiveness as a path to inner peace. The Stoics believed that true peace comes from within. It is not dependent on external circumstances, but on our ability to manage our inner world. When we forgive, we free ourselves from the emotional burden of resentment, allowing us to live with greater peace and clarity. Forgiveness is also a way to practice compassion, another core Stoic virtue. Compassion is not just about feeling sorry for others, but about understanding that everyone, including ourselves, is imperfect. We all make mistakes and we all suffer. By forgiving others, we acknowledge their humanity and extend empathy and kindness. In doing so, we cultivate our own emotional resilience and strengthen our ability to handle future challenges with grace and wisdom. The benefits of forgiveness. Why it matters. Forgiveness is not only a Stoic practice, but a practice that brings significant benefits to our mental and emotional well-being. Research in psychology has shown that forgiveness leads to lower levels of stress, anxiety, and depression, while increasing feelings of peace, joy, and overall life satisfaction. Forgiving others also improves our relationships. When we let go of grudges and resentments, we create space for healing, trust, and mutual understanding. In the context of Stoicism, forgiveness is not just about improving our emotional health, but also about fostering virtuous relationships based on justice, compassion, and respect. Moreover, forgiveness leads to personal growth. It allows us to develop greater emotional intelligence, resilience, and wisdom. When we forgive, we learn to detach from our emotions and respond with greater equanimity no matter what life throws at us. Practical steps to practice forgiveness in Stoic terms. Acknowledge the pain. The first step in forgiveness is to acknowledge the hurt. Stoicism teaches us not to suppress our emotions, but to face them head-on. By recognizing our pain, we can begin to heal and let go. 2. Reflect on what you can control. Ask yourself, what is within my control in this situation? The Stoics emphasize the importance of focusing on what we can change, our thoughts and reactions. We cannot change the past, but we can control how we respond to it. 3. use rationality to reframe the situation. The Stoics encourage us to use reason to reframe our experiences. Instead of viewing the wrong as a personal attack, try to see it from a different perspective. Perhaps the person who hurt you was acting out of their own pain or ignorance. By understanding their actions, you can release the emotional charge and move toward forgiveness. 4. Embrace compassion and understanding. Forgiveness requires empathy. Try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Recognize that they, too, are imperfect and have their own struggles. Compassion is a powerful tool in the Stoic approach to forgiveness. 5. Choose peace over resentment. Finally, remember that forgiveness is a choice. You have the power to release your resentment and embrace peace. Forgiving does not mean forgetting or excusing the wrongdoing. It means choosing to move forward with a sense of calm and clarity. Forgiveness as a Stoic virtue. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools we have to transform our emotional lives. It is not about forgetting the wrongs done to us, but about choosing to free ourselves from the emotional burden of resentment. By practicing forgiveness through the lens of Stoic philosophy, we cultivate emotional resilience, wisdom, and peace. Through the Stoic principles of rationality, the dichotomy of control and compassion, we learn that forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. It is the ability to rise above the situation, to master our emotions, and to choose peace over turmoil. By forgiving others, we release ourselves from the chains of negativity, allowing us to live a life of greater freedom and tranquility. Forgiveness, in the Stoic tradition, is a path to inner peace. And as we walk this path, we not only transform ourselves, but also the world around us. Let us embrace this practice, knowing that in forgiving, we free ourselves to live fully and in harmony with our deepest values.